You're listening to What's Your Heart Problem podcast, the show that brings you healthy advice and perspectives on your heart relationships with your host, Dr. Holder. She has 20 plus years in the field of helping others as a dedicated therapist. She is a coach, speaker, a loving mother, and wife. Dr. Holder is here to help you get to the heart of the matter. Now, without any further ado, please welcome your host, Dr. Holder.
Good day, good morning, good afternoon. Hey everyone, this is Dr. Holder coming to you live from my podcast, What's Your Heart Problem podcast. And I just wanted to thank you today for joining me today. I want to give a great thank you to our sponsor, Higher Life Counseling, Higher Life Pathways Counseling Services, where counseling is provided to individuals, couples, and families. Give them a call or text them at 571-946-8115 to schedule an appointment. So on today's podcast, we have with us an amazing fitness inspiration, my friend, Miss Elaine Allen Landy, known on her social media as AKA Blonde Locks. Miss Allen Landy is a real estate expert, coach, mother, grandmother, and wife, whereby one of her goals is to motivate women to a better self through exercise. So let's welcome Miss Elaine to our pod. Thank you so much for joining us.
You. And thank you so much for doing this with me. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, so I'm gonna run down who you are for those that don't know. Okay, and please correct me if I miss anything. So you're a coach, you're a mother, grandmother, real estate expert, wife, new wife. Congratulations! Extra big up, extra, and AKA Blonde Locks on all your social media.
Blonde locks, hence blonde locks.
How you doing, man? So good to see you.
It is so good to see you too. And thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. I'm trying to do this thing where I'm trying to inspire people so that they can do what you kind of doing now, but in different aspects in their lives. But in this case, we're going to talk about fitness. Miss Blonde Locks, Miss Elaine here. She is an amazing, amazing woman. OMG, I've known this woman for a long time, and she's an amazing woman where she just knows how to work things. And you probably don't know this, but I gotta share this. The reason that you took my interest when I was a younger lady was your style, the way you dressed.
No way.
So, yeah, you showed me how to be sexy but proper. I didn't know that was a thing because my mom, my mom, she was very like, and I didn't know how to, and of course, as a young lady, you're like, well, how do you do that? And unless you see something, you don't know, but your style, when the way you would come out in your outfits on Sundays and just different things, I really admired that. And I'm like,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing the impression that people have of you because me, I block everybody out.
Yes.
I just do my own thing. I come and go. I dance to my own tune. I don't listen to, anybody. I try to protect my ear gate.
Yes.
And so yeah, wow, that's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, yes. And if you go on her page, people, you will see the style that I'm talking about. This woman, she knows how to dress. Okay. All right. So today, like I said to you before, your fitness, journey from when you started, I didn't even know, I didn't even know that about you, And so when I started following you, because I was always following you and you started adding your workouts and your nutrition and just how you did things, I'm like, I guess my question to you is, how did it even start? Like what, or I don't know if you were always doing this and you're putting it out on blast, but how did it transition to where you're just like, you working out, the nutrition? How? Please, the floor is yours. How'd you do that? Yeah.
One morning during COVID,
okay,
I was in the living room and I just had on my bra. And I have this big mirror that I had this contractor put up in the living room. When I saw that back fat, and it was a lot of back fat, because during that time everybody was cooking, because it was the lockdown, and it was the most I've ever cooked in my life. I'll tell you that. I was cooking for my father. I was cooking for everybody. And when I saw that, like I said, it was a no-no. And I made up my mind, and I started going to the park, Wingate Park. And there was nobody there. And I saw a tire, and I said, the tire on off a car. And my imagination, one thing, I have a vivid imagination. And I saw the tire, and I started doing some stuff with the tire.
Wow.
And I started working out, and I was solo for a while. And then one by one, women just started coming up and say, "Oh, can I work out? Oh, I like that. What are you doing?" And I had I would say about 10 females working out with me that I was training while I was training myself. And it was just so inspiring. And at that point, that's when I got the motivation to continue, because everybody was asking me, "Oh, what do you do? How do you do this?" And I just continued from there. I started, then a young lady, she was working with me, and she said, "Why don't you start posting?" And I was like, "Posting? How do you do that?" I didn't know anything about social media at that point. And she showed me how to post, and said, "Okay." I mean, if you go all the way back, there's some busted videos, busted pictures. Oh my God.
It's okay, man. Wow.
And that's how it started. That's when the consistency started.
Wow.
2019, yes.
So let me go back. So you pass in a mirror. And instead of, because I'm sorry, I gotta be honest, most of us is like, keep it moving, like, I'll put a t-shirt over that. What tripped you up? Is it that you didn't realize your body like evolved in that way? Or what triggered you when you saw the back fat? What was that for you?
And the thing was at the time, my body wasn't that much of a big deal for me. Right. Because I was always slim.
Yes.
But, having a little flab here, and it didn't matter. But when I saw the fat hanging over the bra, something just clicked. And I was like, "Elaine, no, this is not what you want to look like. This is not what this is not what I, Elaine, wanted to look like."
Yes.
And then the next day, I promise you, I was in the park. I promise you.
Oh my
Even though they said you couldn't congregate, you couldn't gather in groups, you couldn't go outside, I was like, well, somebody gonna arrest me, because I had to work out.
Wait, they say that? What do you mean?
Remember, it was a total lockdown. They didn't want anybody to go outside.
So back then, oh my goodness. So I didn't even notice. So how were you able to handle the COVID? How did you deal with that or handle that with the proximity? Or
I was working out with the mask.
Okay.
And then one day, when I was posting, my cousin, who is a trainer, he texted me. He said, "Elaine, don't work out with mask on your face, because you will faint." I didn't pay him any attention. Girl, one day I was doing some jumping jacks, and yes, I got lightheaded. And I took that mask off, but I still maintained the 6 feet apart that they were saying. So everybody was, in that proximity that they're supposed to be in. Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh my gosh. I'm going to ask you this, because I noticed your page, you said women. How come not the men? I mean, you said your goal is to motivate women to be to a better self through exercise. Like, that's a real good statement, like a real motivating statement. Why women? Why? What's that for you?
That's a very good statement, because women, we put so much pressure on ourselves.
Yeah.
And after a certain age, we tend to just let ourselves go sometimes, not everybody, because life be life in. Okay. You have
Yes,
the children, you
yes,
have work, you have your responsibilities, different things, your health, your mental well-being. So many things
yes,
come in, and we
yes.
forget about us, and
Mm,
we think about everybody else. So, I always try to encourage women, listen, even if it's 5 minutes, take some me time and just
yeah.
breathe and just look in the mirror. I'm a big advocate of looking yourself in the mirror and say thank you.
Yes,
And say, I
yes.
love you. You look good, because your words have life.
Mm,
And when you say those things, those positive affirmations to yourself,
yes,
it's breathing oxygen into your body,
I like
you know.
that.
And when you say those negatives, it just takes away, and you get lower and lower. And especially if you don't have anybody around you who's telling you
Yes,
otherwise, and you're
yes,
feeding yourself that. So yes, I'm on social media telling women, listen, you are beautiful. It doesn't
yes.
matter. Yes, take some time, do this. And then you have some men who really don't, appreciate you for who you are. And,
Come on
and
now.
even if they think it, they don't say it. And a
Yes,
lot of times we want to hear it. And
yes.
women in general, I want women to know that you can give a woman a compliment and tell a woman,
Wow.
girl, you look good. Girl, you are.
Yes.
I went to an event the other night, and I didn't know her. I was just passing by her table, and she had a short haircut. I just whispered, I'm like, girl, you got it going on. You know,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
We just have to start compliment each other and building each other up as a community, and
Yes.
and stop tearing each other down. And social
Yes.
media is such a large platform that we
Mhm.
can use it for
When you
such.
say that, yeah, we put too much on ourselves because we're doing this, mother, sister, whatever else, and it's like, well, when is that time for you? So I love that. Hey, thank you. I'm loving this. Okay.
And
So
especially during our menopause
yes,
years.
I don't
Okay.
know that yet, but what do you mean? Please share.
During our menopause, we gain weight, and it's just so hard to get off.
Really?
Yeah, especially around
Where?
the midsection.
I was gonna ask you, where do you
Oh,
gain the weight?
child. Yes, the woman, they get it there, and for different reasons. And then during menopause, we go through so many hormonal changes, emotionally, physically, um, especially emotional,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so during that time, we really need to bond together even more.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. So I know with menopause, my understanding is with physical changes, the hot flashes. I hear a lot about the hot flashes, but when you say emotional changes, like, what do you mean?
um Depression.
Okay.
If you were a little depressed before, it's enhanced even more, because
Really?
of the estrogen and the different changes that your body's going through. And I hear so many I get so many DMs,
Okay.
what do I do during this, and how do I handle this? And
Yes.
yeah, our emotional, our well-being, I like to say well-being, it's so important during that time, and it's a challenge during that time. And
Yes.
it's a subject that a lot of women don't talk about. They think that
Yes.
they feel that it's something that they have to deal with in private,
Yes.
but no more. And then when you work out, there are a lot of trainers who don't know how to handle women during their menopausal years.
Really?
Listen, oh yeah. There's not It's just recently that there is a community of trainers that's embracing fitness for women during menopause.
What's the hardship or what's the difficulty? Why is that? Why is there difficult with women menopause and trainers and training them? What's the deal with that?
It's like such a taboo thing. Men don't know how to handle it. Yeah, you
I
could
guess what happens to the woman like
just
that
because
they're
their body is going through the different changes where
Okay.
there's certain things they can't do, or is not that they can't, but it's more challenging for them to do.
Sure,
And
sure.
then the hot flashes starts from inside, like your inside is burning up and it comes out. And you're just like, listen,
Wow.
I can't do this anymore. And then, water just start dripping on your face. And then you have the lack of sleep. It affects your sleep. It affects your eating. It
Oh.
affects practically everything. Now there's some women who don't go through any of that. I'm one who didn't go through those, I didn't have those issues during menopause. Thank God. And I sincerely believe it's because of how I trained my body during the years, because I grew up in a household with Jamaican parents. Even though we're Jamaicans, my father didn't eat red meat, didn't eat a lot of, the Caribbean food. He
Yes.
didn't eat. And it was all vegetables and
Mm.
fish. That's all I grew up on, vegetables and
Oh,
fish.
cool.
He wasn't a vegetarian. He wasn't a vegan. He just chose not to eat those things because he was
Yes.
always afraid of getting fat. That was his. So that, I believe, helped me during the course of during the course up to this point, when
Yes.
I started going through menopause. I didn't experience the hot flashes. I didn't experience the weight gain. I didn't experience the emotional trauma, or the emotional yeah. I,
Really?
I didn't I didn't go through anything. The sleepless nights. I didn't go through anything. Thank
So
God.
so yeah, thank God. So how do you know that you were going through menopause?
I didn't.
If that,
All I knew was that my period stopped.
so you mean to tell me you found the cure for menopause? Back to diet and nutrition. Interesting.
And I do hear, when I made the post about menopause, I did a Zoom. No, it was a live
I lied.
with a
Okay.
doctor from Jamaica, and we touched on
Yes.
all that. And
Yes.
a lot of people, a lot of women
Yes.
commented that they didn't go through menopause, and it was because of their diet. So I'm
Oh
not
my.
saying that your diet, if you change your diet, it's 100% that you won't go through menopause. I'm not saying that at all. Because
Right.
women go through different things. Every woman
Yes.
Every
Yes.
woman is different. Every
Yes.
single woman is different, and they experience it different ways, different times, and so on. But for me, I believe it's because of my diet.
And so I'm going to take that to the bank, and I'm going to make sure that I am not doing a lot of things so that I have a good experience as I continue to get younger in life, as I say. But oh my goodness, that
But
is.
we have to train. You know how you train your kids?
Mm-hmm.
Because from birth, because
Yes.
you want them when they become an adult to be a certain way and so on.
Yes. Yes.
That's how we got to train our body. We have to, I tell people all the time that I'm training my body to reach 80. This is how I want my body to be when I'm 80 years old. This is how I want my body to be when I'm 90 years old.
Yeah.
Apart from the natural things that might happen, if I
Sure.
can help it, I'm training my organs. I'm feeding it the right foods, the right, even the air that we breathe. Sometimes
Yeah.
we're around smokers, sometimes we're around,
Yes.
my stepmother died from secondhand smoking. She never smoked a day in her
Really?
life, and she died,
Really?
yeah, she died from secondhand smoking because when she was younger, her brothers smoked.
Ah, I'm so sorry to hear that. But it's like you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
And so you're thinking everything is fine and it's not. But OMG, that is real, Elaine. My gosh.
Yeah,
So I
train our
guess we're gonna be seeing you doing your well, I know I saw this I had an article or video. There's this woman I think like 2 or 3 ladies now is coming out now, but there's this woman. Well, a couple years ago, she was in her 70s or early 80s, and she was doing the fitness body. I don't recall her name, but she's just known, and I was just amazed because I'm like looking at her pumping. I think everyone knows. I think she's, I forgot her. I forgot the
I
name
have her
of
on
the
my
tag.
page. I have her on my
Okay,
page.
okay,
Yes, I do know who
okay.
you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, she is amazing, and I'm just like, this is possible,
And
and
she
one thing.
started her journey when she was in her early 50s.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of women are doing that because they don't know. And one thing that I'm noticing, I don't know if you're noticing, Elaine, but one thing I'm noticing in this like life now is that our I'll say the grandmothers and the mothers are not looking like how our mothers and grandmothers in the past
Hello.
have looked. They're
Hello.
looking a lot younger. They're coming out with just different things. It's just a beautiful thing but it goes to show it's like, not that we're in the Garden of Eden, but it's almost like we're trying to work that in as we're in daily life today. And I think it's a beautiful thing to see how your diet and nutrition and your exercise does help you increase your libido, help you increase all those things to help you go forward. Now, this is what I want to get into a little bit too. So, well, Miss Elaine, you got married. Okay, you got married, girl, a couple months ago. 4 months ago.
8 months ago. Yep. I was 57 and he was 62.
So, need to know, Elaine. Okay, I'm gonna say it this way. I'll say it this way. I know that there's a lot of ladies out there, your age and older, all right, that think, that's it. I'm just gonna go on as a grandma. I'm just gonna go on and just live life and give to the people. With my single self, all right. Can I even have sex anymore? Can I even, I'm just gonna go on to the go on, right? Elaine, you in your 30s and 40s looking like, you're looking like in your 30s and 40s, Elaine, and getting married and popping it. And ladies and gentlemen, spoiler alert, her wedding dress was red fire. This is how amazing fashion this lady is, okay? So how are you able to, you were always a different person in your mindset anyway, but still, need to know how is it that your mind was not like what I just described? I guess, like, how were you able to keep, I guess, the youth and keep keep your mindset youthful, where you, I'm gonna go online because you met him on, I think you said Match, right?
.com.
Match.com, right? Online, older people sometimes, not everyone, but sometimes with computers and online. Well, I'm gonna do that, and just very not forward going in that way. And you're like, I'm gonna do this. You meet the guy. Elaine, you got to walk me through that. Like that's just an amazing story because that's not the norm.
I got married in 20. I met him in 2020.
Okay.
Years prior to that, I was talking to my girlfriend. It was Valentine's. It was 4 days before Valentine's Day. I said, listen, I have an idea. I said, why don't we make a reservation and go to a restaurant, and we have a faceless picture of a man as our date. She's like, sure, let's do it. I'm thinking that she was really on board with me. Yes. So I went to Target, I bought a frame. I went on Google, and I printed out a picture of a man in a suit. Yes. And I cut out his face and I put it in the frame.
Yes.
I made reservations like 2 days prior.
Okay.
Everywhere was booked up. But this one restaurant, the Armani Exchange restaurant across from Trump Towers.
Nice.
Star restaurant, went there. Mm-hmm. I made a reservation there. And honey, I had my 8x10 frame with a faceless picture of a man. I went to the restaurant and I sat the picture in front of me, and I was sitting across from it. And I was the talk of that restaurant, okay? Everybody was like, oh, that's probably her dead husband. Oh, that's
Showstopper, always a showstopper. Yes, ma'am.
This one couple, they were sitting, a couple of feet from me, and they said, they were confused. They didn't know what to say to me. And he just pointed. I said, "Oh, that's just a picture. That's just my future husband." And they looked, and the woman was, her face, you know, I mean, I can't even describe when I say everybody was looking. And can I say that, I was the only one in the
I bet, Armani, I bet, lady, I bet. Yes.
So that made it even worse. The fact that I'm sitting there by myself with a faceless picture of a man sitting there.
I need to know the outfit. I need to know the outfit, lady.
I actually posted it. I had a dress on. Oh yeah, I had this champagne colored dress. It was low cut. The back was low, all the way down to the butt. And I had my my red bottoms on. Oh yeah. I was
Yes. So I think the lady was looking at you because it's like, she doesn't seem crazy. She seems of sound mind. So I can't understand what's happening. So yes, you probably had her thinking for the rest of the night, but go ahead.
And yeah, because I told God exactly what I wanted.
Yes.
I told God exactly what I wanted. But before that though, about a year prior, I was in my living room, and I was just feeling a kind of way. And I said, God, I want you to show me what I need to work on to prepare me for my husband.
Yes, a lot of people need to do that.
Girl, he told me to go to the mirror. And I went to even thinking about it now, I'm tearing up. I went to the mirror, and he just started showing me things about myself. Oh, child.
Yes. That's what he does.
Wow. I was like, God, that's me. And I had to walk away from the mirror because I couldn't believe that what he was showing me was me.
Yes.
I had some stuff about me that was ridiculous.
Yes.
I had some idiosyncrasies and some ways about me. It's like, God, was I really like this? Am I really like this? And girl, I just started working on me.
Yes.
Because, we never think of ourselves as a bad person. And we're not bad people.
Nope.
But over the years, especially when you've been married before and you've gone through different relationships, you develop self-preservation qualities to protect you.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and there was some stuff, the things that used to come out of my mouth.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. So God worked on me first before he sent my husband.
Oh, can you say that again for those that are hard of hearing? Could you say that again for the single ladies? Can you say that again, please?
Yeah. He worked on me, girl, because we expect so much from the man.
Yes.
I want a man who's honest. I want a man who has integrity. I want a man who has good character. I want a man who has a good career, who has a good 401k, and whatnot. But are we of good character?
Yes.
Do we have integrity? Are we nags? Do we allow things to get to us so bad that we project it onto the next person? Are we always right? Is being right always important? Is girl, I could go down the list.
Absolutely.
And being right is overrated. I'm sorry, it's overrated. At age 58, being right, ladies, gentlemen, being right is overrated.
Yes. I don't know if you listen to TD Jakes. He had a sermon, and there was a excerpt, and he said there's this thing now, he speaks, there's this thing now where people are like, you got to keep it 100. You got to keep it 100, right? And he goes like, you keep it 100, you get divorced. You keep it 100, you lose that job. And he explained, keeping it 100 is, yeah, babe, you look fat in that suit. As as an example, yeah, you go to the job, to the boss. Well, I'm tired of your blah, blah, blah. That's keeping it 100. No, you got to keep it 80. You got to keep it 75 sometimes. Keeping it 100 is not always productive for you. I mean, the way he, in conjunction to what you just said, I think that a lot of people don't check themselves. They're always checking others. They're always checking, well, she needs to be this way. He needs to be this way, and it's unfortunate because, man, if a lot of us were to just look within and just knock out some stuff that needs to be knocked out, it wouldn't make that marriage so hard. It wouldn't make that relationship so hard, or that job relationship so hard, or the family relationship. I mean, it's all relationships. It's you. So I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that, because again, and I know, like we're like, we're not. I was going to go to Adam and Eve. You look in the garden, and if you break it down a little bit, Adam had the job, and he was good. He was, and then if you read it, God presented Eve when Adam was good.
Yeah.
And good meaning healthy.
Yeah.
He was healthy.
Yeah.
And so, I look at just people in general, and I see how people are striving, and a lot of people that are motivating, striving, trying to help others and all of that, they've done that self-work or are continuing to do that self-work, because it doesn't stop at that time in the past that you went through. You see other things that need to be adjusted, but you can now do that with a husband. You're not going to harm that husband. You're not going to harm that wife. You see? And so another thing now that you brought that the lovely man in, so did your girlfriend, wait, let me rewind. Did your girlfriend eventually meet you there, or it was just you?
Oh, please. I was by myself.
She didn't even meet you.
I called her up. I said, hey, girl, are you coming? She's like, no. I'm like, are you kidding me? She's like, no, I'm not going to go. I'm like, okay. So I was there by myself with my faceless picture. And I did post it.
I will look back. So there you are at the restaurant getting your order and everything. So I guess my question is, after it was said and done, I guess, what was your feeling that night? What was your feel for that night after that? After you did that very different thing?
Oh, good. I was like, oh, wow, I could do this again. Now, mind you, that wasn't the first time that I went out by myself.
Sure.
But it was my first time doing that with a picture, right?
Yes.
I always believe in going to a Broadway play by myself.
Sure.
Dinner. Every time I made a deal, I would go out and celebrate by myself, treat myself to dinner.
Yes.
By myself, something really special on my birthday, and things like that. So going out by myself wasn't new. But after that, though, with the picture, I felt liberated. I was like, okay, like,
yes,
you did that.
Yes. And the thing is, I one thing you did say, when you before you get married or really get into that relationship, you gotta like you. A lot of people don't like themselves. Yeah. And what I'll add to your night is, I have a new respect and a new love and like for myself. Oh, girl, that's come from that when you said that, because there's a proudness as you're speaking about that night.
Oh yeah.
All right. So now, a year later, you said a year later.
That was in 2019, and I met him in 2020.
Okay. And then 2020, he reached out or you reached out. How does that work?
Actually, I was on Match for a little bit, and before I got on there, I said, God, you said when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing and finds favor with you.
Okay.
Let that man find me. So I posted my profile.
Sure.
Yes, I was out there.
Sure.
Never went on anybody's page to look for them.
Okay.
I always got the whatever they call it. They reached out to me, and then I would respond, call them, or whatever it is. And about 2 weeks before, I had the free subscription, the free subscription.
Yes.
2 weeks or a week before it was to expire, he reached out to me, and it was either a week or 2 weeks before his expired also. So when he reached out to me, I called him. No, we spoke for a while, and then he gave me his number, and I had a Google number at the time. You know, the free Google number. You don't want to give out your real number.
Yes, come on now, gotta be safe.
And I called him, and he had me from hello.
Oh,
His voice, the tone of a man's voice turns me on.
absolutely.
And he has this deep voice, and I was like, okay now.
Oh, hello there.
All right. And it was about 2 weeks before I went to Jamaica. I had planned to go to Jamaica for vacation. So I said to him, listen, I'm leaving to go to Jamaica on Friday. I'll call you when I get back. Because at that time we were talking every day. And he didn't believe me. He thought it was a brush off. So I stayed in Jamaica for a week. And when I came back, I called him, and he was surprised. And we went on our first date. I met him in July. We went on our first date in August. And he took me to Nobu in the city. That was our first date. And it was on and popping after that.
Well, awesome. I want to go back a little bit. You're dropping a lot of nuggets that single folk need to hear, and I need to put that out there. What you did. You already had a scheduled trip to Jamaica. Just met the man, right? You're like, ooh, love the voice, all of that, right? But you had a scheduled trip to Jamaica, and you said, we'll resume when I get back. So what I got from that was, I'm happy that I met you, and I'm glad that we have a connection. However, I'm still a single lady. I'm still going to do my plans. Okay. I have boundaries, right? And I don't need to hear from you or you from me. And not that you were doing whatever, you know how you get into that, women get into that, like, he needs to do this or she needs to do this. You didn't do that. You just simply laid it out. Hey, schedule. We'll be in contact when I get back. So it showed him, even though he thought it was a brush off, it showed him even from jump that this lady, isn't jumping to be with anybody. Desperate, not desperate to be with anybody. I have self-control. I don't need to hear I love your voice, but I don't need to hear it I'm good. Because I have to schedule. You understand? So a lot of people, what happens is they jump. They're like, oh, that's the man, that's the woman. All right, and it's like, whoa. Too fast. You come back. He's like, oh. And I like I don't know him, but from what you're telling me, he was like, he thought it was a brush off, but it wasn't like him trying to stalk you or trying to, there was healthy individuals from what I'm gathering from you that came together and was able to just kind of wait for each other, kind of indirectly, and here you guys are. So just wanted to say thank you for that, because again, a lot of people, they jump so fast and they don't really realize that, hey, you got to wait sometimes. And maybe if it's for you, it's going to be for you.
Yeah.
So how was that first date?
The first date, it wasn't love at first sight.
Okay, let's talk about it. That's all right.
He showed up in, I'm all about the aesthetics of how you look.
Oh, yes, Elaine, I know that. Yes, ma'am.
My mother taught me, you always look your best when you go out. He showed up in some cargo shorts and sneakers and a t-shirt. I'm like, how you gonna show up
in that restaurant in the city?
Hello.
What were you looking like?
Hello. I had on my sundress and
yes,
I represent.
Same. Yes.
But you see, it showed. I didn't assess it at the time, but it showed his confidence that, okay, I'm taking
Ooh,
her to Nobu. Everybody know Nobu. It's not a cheap restaurant.
it's not.
It's a 5-star. And
Yes.
he's going to show up in sneakers and shorts. It shows that, hey, listen, I'm not trying to impress you. Yeah, we're coming to this restaurant, but my dressing, the aesthetics of how I look is that it doesn't define who I am.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm glad I didn't allow that to turn me off. In the past, it would have,
Okay.
but I didn't allow it to on that first
You
day.
you did that self-work. You did that self-work.
Hello,
Come on now.
hello.
Come
And
on now.
it was a little at the very beginning, we was trying to feel each other out. And then we just started having a conversation and it just flowed. I think, what, 2 hours we were there?
Nice.
The conversation just flowed. Then we made another date to go another restaurant in Jersey on the water. And then
Nice.
the third date went to an restaurant upstate. And then the fourth date, I had to meet my best friend because she had to approve.
Of course. Of course. I love it.
Ah,
So, Elaine, are you telling me that on the second or first, the second or third, there was no Netflix and chill?
no,
No,
no.
no, it was him taking you out to a restaurant, not Starbucks.
I don't oppose. My girlfriend and I were just having this conversation. So funny you should bring that up. This is probably going to be a two-part
We okay, we okay, we all right on time. We good, we good.
And she said, is it okay if a man take you to Starbucks the first date? I said, I don't have a problem with that because it gets expensive out in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's a lot of pressure for men to, if they're in pursuit of somebody, to take women to all these nice restaurants. So yeah, I'm not
Sure.
opposed to meeting at a Starbucks or going shooting some pool or golfing or whatever. I'm not
Sure.
opposed to that. But with
Sure.
him now, we discussed, he asked me what type of food I like. I told him the caliber restaurants that I like.
Yes.
So yeah, he stepped up to the plate.
Yes, Elaine.
I didn't mince my words. I didn't hold back. I had, you mentioned standards. Yeah, I'm up there.
So that's what that's where I was trying to get to. So he how do I say that? With you with that. If it's a first date or second date and it makes sense, right? But I don't think where you are or where you were in life, I'll say I'll say with your specific prayer, with your specific checking in with yourself, the caliber of man that you would get, it probably would not have been a Starbucks guy. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing or a good thing, but in your specific case, with just what your journey would have brought and the type of guy that you needed in your life. Because again, you're not a Starbucks girl. And what I mean by that is, yes, your caliber, the way you rest of 5-star, because you do that for yourself. So if you could do this for yourself, I'm just saying, like, I'm not surprised that he came up to that standard because that showed that he could take care of a potential wife, a potential family, potential, just by the fact that he didn't try to lower your standards or try to make it an argument, because that happens, or make it something where instead of it flowing, it become like a drawback. So
Yeah.
yes, the clothing was like, come on now, but because you did that self-work, it was like, let's see what's internal. Let's see what's going on there,
I didn't
even
look at it
further.
that way. I didn't look at it
Yeah,
that way.
yeah,
I did
yeah,
not
yeah.
look at that's a good point. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tell
Mhm.
you, it's almost 9 months. June will be 9 months.
Congratulations.
He has, after people get married, things slow down, get lax.
It depends, but yes, go ahead.
Yeah, it depends. I'm sorry.
Mhm,
Sorry.
mhm, mhm,
It
mhm. It
depends.
depends.
Um, he hasn't slacked off.
All right.
All right.
I cook. I enjoy cooking for him.
Yes, yes.
Midweek on a Wednesday, he's always taking me out,
Yeah.
to a wherever restaurant we would decide to go. And then midweek is okay, decompress, want to go out.
Yeah.
And then date night is one day June on the weekend, whether it's Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Right.
Yeah, it's been the same consistency or a little bit higher, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to know why?
Okay.
You make it easy.
How do I do that?
Okay, I don't know your day-to-day with him,
Mhm.
but you started integrating him, I saw in your videos, with what you do.
Mm.
You say you cook for him. For you, that's nothing, but for a lot of women out there, it's something every time I look at it, it's something. You make it easy for him, and what I mean by easy is you're not causing additional stress and drama with him. You're probably making it easy to lay his head on your lap. You're providing peace.
That's one of the things that we talk about all the time. I tried my very not to bring in any drama. We all have drama. We all been through a whole lot of stuff. I tried to take care of my laundry before he came in.
I love it.
I really tried to take care of my laundry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't perfect now. Still had some issues. And he still had some issues, and let me tell you, there were times that one thing I practice before I shoot off at the mouth, and I'm quick.
Yes.
90% of the times I ask God, is this the right time to say this? And a lot of times he'll tell me, shut your mouth.
Yes.
Later, or he'll make time for me to say whatever it is I have to say. I'm learning to be cognizant of time. Timing is everything. You can talk your talk, and you can keep it real, but timing is everything.
Yes, ma'am.
And I've asked God several times, key times, God, when do I say this? How do I say it? And whenever I do that, an argument, it turns into a nice conversation where it's received well. Like I said, whenever I don't, it becomes that Jamaican come out of me.
And I think also what you're also speaking about is choices. You don't have to listen to God.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that.
You can be all, I've been here long, I don't got to listen. You can do all of that. But what seeds are you trying to plant whereby your marriage is going to dissolve or go long? What you want to do?
Yeah.
What you want to do?
Yeah.
There was one time, real quick. This is early in my marriage with my husband, and he was upset, and he was just like, I can't believe this. So I just simply said to him, you want peace or you want war, honey?
Ooh, those are heavy laden words.
You want peace or you want war, baby? Because I'm trying to live in peace here, boo. And I don't know what you're trying to do, but we supposed to be like, now let's work it out, right? And I think a lot of people miss that, and they forget that you are in control of you. And once you manage your emotions, are in control of you. Remember, in a marriage, you're in a circle. If you do something, it's gonna impact or affect or something. So what you doing in your circle, right? And so let's say you were like, right, and then he was like, meaning upset. You're screaming, he's screaming, as an example, right? And then you suddenly just get the peace, and you just be like, and he's still yelling, and you're quiet, looking at him like, what we doing, baby? What's gonna happen? You can it's a fool to argue with a wall, or with a silent person. What we doing? As an example, right? And what ends up happening is the person is either going to simmer down or leave. because you're not the one that's the problem. Because what happens is they look in the mirror when you're not saying anything. The person looks in the mirror and they don't like what they see, so they have to simmer down or leave because it's uncomfortable in this environment for them to stay toxic or to stay, unrealistically ridiculous. And so one big thing that is really important in marriage, and I love how you said it, is you have to kind of get the peace, and but you the peace of God, and just a peace of just, is this the right time? Is this the right time? Because I can't keep it 100. Can't, because you'd be 100 and just wrong. You could be right, but who's winning? If you right and and your husband's wrong, you both wrong. Meaning the result is going to be bad, because no, it's not a win, you lose. That's not your enemy.
Yeah.
That should be your BFF. It should be.
Yeah.
And so I love that, because with the culture you've come from, Jamaican, don't quick with the mouth, no problem, right? I mean, I think part of that has made you very successful, because you don't play, you don't play around. Don't mess with don't mess with Elaine's business. Don't be doing that. That's one thing I do know about you. But then how do we put that softer side that's needed in marriage? You can't be hardcore in your
Girl,
marriage.
I had to learn that. A lot of times he looked at me and he'd say, I'm not your enemy.
Yes.
Because I had that, the scars from the other marriage wasn't
Yes.
completely healed.
Of course.
I was still a work in progress. We both were a work
Mhm.
in progress.
Yes, ma'am.
What I've learned is that he's a reflection of me and I'm a reflection of him.
Yes.
So a lot
Yes,
of the
ma'am.
things that show up in him is what's going on with me. So I have to work on me first before I expect him to change. And what I've learned also is that, hey, if he's acting a certain way, is it because, or if I stop doing something, I always say this to him. So if I stop cooking, always ask yourself the question, what have I stopped doing that caused her to stop cooking?
Mm.
Because women usually have a reason for not for them stopping doing things. I don't know if I'm making sense. A lot of times we don't always just stop just because, I just don't want to do it. Sometimes, yeah, I just don't feel like doing it anymore. But if I stop cooking, is it because you're not showing appreciation anymore? You're complaining about what I'm cooking, whatever, and I always say that to him. I say, if I stop doing something that I usually do, ask yourself the question, did I do something that's causing her? Did I say something to cause her to react a certain way? Did I do something for her to just lash out at me like that? Because it's a cause and effect, and a lot of times we do things and not even think about it,
Right.
or
Right.
we internalize so much and we don't talk about it, and then when we do talk is when it's been compounded, and then we just
Blow up.
explode,
Yes.
so
Yes.
I've learned not to, or we are trying our best not to allow things to just go.
Right. Right. And timing. And once you do that in timing, the flow will continue to happen. So the 8 months, honey, you're making it easy. He's making it easy, because for him, because again, I don't know him, I know you. And so I'm guessing that how he's coming at you with those questions, like, or the statements, I'm not your enemy, honey. I'm here to support you. And you probably never received that or said that maybe in your first, marriage. It was like that yell, scream, I don't know.
It's combative. We're always
Combative, right? And so you're used to, like, all right, put on the gloves, let's go. And he's like, you can do that by yourself, but over here is peace. Let's do that, honey. And I think that's a beautiful thing, because again, if you don't do the self-work, but when you're 20, even if you're 50 something, it's the same thing, because that's not been dealt with.
Yeah.
That's not been bad. Okay. All right. Well, Elaine, I mean, that's it for me. I just wanted to ask a couple questions about you and just your transition and just, we got into the relationship at the end of it, but I'm just so grateful that I was able to just talk Elaine, with you. Thank you so much, and keep me posted on that book. And girl, God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of What's Your Heart Problem podcast. If you're enjoying the show or found value in what you've heard today, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. That helps others find the show, and we greatly appreciate it. Once again, thanks for listening, and we hope you'll join us again next time in the next episode of What's Your Heart Problem podcast. See you then.